What's up, you guys? Slim here at Team Symmetry, here with the next installment of Slim Psychology. This one is going to be pretty simple. This is going to be on monster removal and or destruction. I got a couple messages throughout the last couple of weeks about the different forms of destruction in this game and how certain cards, i.e. Soul Taker, have become the replacement for cards like Smashing Ground, and how some people agree with this and a lot of people do not for certain reasons. And I'm here to just make a video about the different forms of destruction and monster removal that are available to you in the game right now, and how some of them only aspire for certain decks and for certain situations. So I'm just going to get into it. A little back history, though, for people who've been around in this game for as long as I have. Back in 2002, everyone remembers the ever-glorious card Raigeki being one of the only cards that cleared all your opponent's monsters. It was broken, it was banned, and we'll probably never see it again, even though it was reprinted in Battle Packs, so maybe there's a slight glimmer of hope. But that was the first massive monster removal card along with its counterpart Darkhole. However, Raigeki was only our opponent's monsters, and that was just broken, to say the least. So cards like that probably won't come back, but it's nice to remember days like that. And now, of course, we do have Darkhole. Darkhole is a mass removal card and a staple in every single deck. I've mentioned Darkhole in so many videos, and about how some players need to use this card properly instead of using it as a simple one-for-one. What I like about Darkhole is that you do have the ability to set it and do some of your combos and then Darkhole. Decks like Dark World, decks like Rabbit, all different kinds of decks can do their combos having set this, it being a normal spell, and then activate it when the time is right. And that's what I love about Darkhole. I feel it's just a very good card in mass removal. It's the epitome of mass removal when it comes to monster destruction right now. Other cards like it are Lightning Vortex. However, Lightning Vortex does cost you one card in your hand, so this card is clearly better. However, another thing about Darkhole is that it can hit face-down monsters, whereas Lightning Vortex can only hit face-up. So I feel Darkhole is just the epitome of mass removal. On to like other cards, we'll get into the heated debate, Smashing Ground versus Soul Taker. Which is better? I've got a Smashing Fist while I'm taking your soul. I've always loved Smashing Ground. I've loved Smashing Ground since it first came out. It was in Invasion of Chaos, for everyone who remembers. It was a short print. It was very hard to get. It eventually went up to a $10 or $15 common, or it might have been a little less. I don't remember, but time has changed and it's been reprinted many, many times. Soul Taker, of course, is becoming the new popular IT card when it comes to destruction of monsters. The reason being of its ability to make your opponent's monsters, such as Elemental Hero the Shining and Light Pulsar Dragon, miss timing. Your opponent also gains 1,000 life points. People have been asking me constantly, which card is better. The thing is that it's personal preference. It's always players' personal preference. Some players like to use Soul Taker because if they play a lot of dragons or they play a lot of heroes, they know that they'll net somewhat of a profit off of the Shining missing timing and Light Pulsar missing timing. However, Smashing is not without its charm. Smashing does not target, so Smashing is another really good card in general. Both of these cards force Lagia. They both destroy Dolka, so these cards are kind of similar in the same sense. However, right now in this current meta where Chaos Dragons are ever supreme, I feel that Soul Taker might be a little bit better for now. If Chaos Dragons eventually fall off as a top tier deck, I can see people using Smashing Ground again just for the fact that it does the same thing, except it does not cause the monsters to miss timing. But I feel that right now in a meta that's so crucial on certain effects, especially monster effects, that anything that can stop a monster from missing timing is key. And also with 1,000 life points, I've been told many times, even though I'm not 100% in agreement with it, that life points are not a matter right now. I feel that that's kind of true, kind of not true. It depends on your deck and your playstyle. If you can survive through a low life and have control of the board at the current time that you activate these cards, and you can take full advantage. So cards like this are just simple one-for-one removals of monsters. Other cards like this in the past have been Fissure, Hammer Shot, Offerings of the Doom, other things like that. I feel that these two are the main ones that you'll see in decks, though, for obvious reasons. So just thought I'd cover those. When choosing your selection, just think of what your metas are like. What are your locals like? What are your regionals like? What do you see the most of? What are you the most afraid of? And know that you're going to have trouble with, and just choose accordingly. When it comes to other certain removal cards, more mass removal comes in the form of Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute is at 2, so a lot of monsters are getting removed. A lot of people are using Starlight Road, hoping to hit this card. A lot of smart players are only using one Torrential if their deck overextends to the board, such as Dino Rabbit and Dark World. So Torrential is still just a really good card. Like I said, some players will run 2, whereas others will run only 1 if they feel that they have enough field presence and enough control and they don't want to lose advantage in the process. So Torrential, self-explanatory, is mass removal. Other cards that are different forms of removal, actual banishment removal, are the ever-present Bottomless Trap Hole and Dimensional Prison. There, you already know what they do. This one activates upon declaration. This is when the monster is summoned. Both are excellent against Dino Rabbit, Dark World, Heroes, decks like that. And they're 1-for-1s. 1-for-1s are very good this format because they bait out cards such as Laggy and Dolka, like I've mentioned before. This beats Dolka, obviously. This card is broken against Dino Rabbit when you can hit both Cobblezol or both Sabersaurus. You net a profit right there. Plus Rabbit's gone, so you net another profit. And this card is just really great against Chaos Dragons, especially Chaos Dragons. They can't stand to have their big dragons removed, since destroying them doesn't solve anything if they have Light Pulsar and the Red Eyes loop. So I feel that these two cards have become staples in pretty much every deck that can run them, and they're simple 1-for-1s, and they do the trick. They get the monster off the field, the banishment is complete, and you're in control, hopefully, from there. So they're just excellent cards in general. Now I'm going to bring down to these next cards that I have. Now, granted, I didn't remember every single card, but I got what I had on me at the current time. Also, shout out to the pink mat. I got this mat from my homie 3Z Inferno. This is just my pink troll mat. Literally, it's all pink. I haven't had a Kirby face put on it yet, or a Jigglypuff face, but I like this mat. Like I said, we could just make like a little face right now. Give it a little nose, and I don't really see a smile unless like I kind of curve the cards this way. All right, so we got a little smiley face. Thumbs up for the smiley face. But onto more important things in this video. Cards like Hero Blast and Gemini Spark, one being a spell, one being a trap, are both cards that are used in one deck. And that, of course, is Elemental Heroes. They work off each other. They combo together greatly, where you Gemini Spark with Alias, you destroy a monster, and then you can activate Hero Blast to get back your Alias. Hero Blast disrupts Dino Rabbit plays. Gemini Spark disrupts Dino Rabbit plays. They're just two really good cards that heroes will always run because of the pluses you get and the ability to save your monster. I feel that that's amazing, that you destroy your Alias. Okay, it goes to the graveyard where you want it for Hero Blast or Miracle Fusion. That's just so good. I can't even begin to explain it how good it is. I love cards like this, and I think combos like this should always exist in this game because they do require skill, because you can't haphazardly activate them and expect to win, because plays like that don't win games. So these two cards are just really great in my opinion, especially among hero players. Cards like Chain Disappearance are a little funny. They not only hit cards in the opponent's hand, but they also hit cards, of course, on the field. And I think cards that can hit a card that can hit cards or monsters in the hand is amazing. Something like that is just beyond, what else other people can do. And you're able to remove them from the deck as well. A card that hits the deck, that's so broken. Everyone remembers when Crush Card Virus was around, and it was the most deadly thing ever. You got hit by a Crush Card Virus, usually you were losing the game. If you came back, you're a really good player. Like, you played out of a tough situation, or you didn't have monsters that could be affected, but at the time, Teledat and decks like that just reigned supreme, and it was a nightmare. The smaller version of that is Deck Devastation Virus. Now, Deck Devastation Virus is interesting. It is a mass removal if you do hit multiple cards. The only decks that I know for a fact to use this card are Dark World, because they have Grapha, Snow, and other stuff like that. I've actually seen this in Gravekeeper. Everyone forgets that under the field, cards like cards like Descendant and Assailant are both 2000, so you are able to use this. I don't like this card personally in Gravekeeper, but I could see it being kind of like a little tech card depending on the meta. But this card's really good in Dark World because, of course, you can combo it with Mind Crush and with Drag Down and just rape your opponent's entire hand. So cards like this are really good. They hit Rabbit, they hit Tour Guide, they hit pesky little monsters like Windups. So this card's still really good, but like I've mentioned of these other two cards in Sparks and Hero Blast, they're cards that are basically themed around one certain type of deck. So cards like this you won't see in every deck, but decks like Malefic and decks like Dark World will probably include it. If not in the main deck, it'll definitely be in the side deck depending on what they're playing. So this is just another form of removal in the sense. And like I said, on Chain Disappearance, this card is really good against cards like Insectors. This is broken against Insectors, broken against Rabbit, Tour Guides. Get them all removed, you're in control, especially against Insectors. You hit their Hornet, and they're pretty much done if they can't like follow through with any plays and beat you down. So just a really good card in general, really good side deck card. And the last one, I've already done a Tech for Talk on this, CED, very simple, remove stuff. Gets rid of pesky Exceed monsters. That's what I also like about Dimensional Prison, is another out to Zen mains since you're not destroying it. I think trap cards that don't destroy are becoming a lot more popular in the meta right now because they confuse your opponent, whereas they think they can save the monster, whether it be Zen mains, you just compulse back, like, nope, you can't. You deprison it, nope, you can't. So cards like this are just really good. And I guess like the last part of this video will be on how do you choose. It's very simple. If you're running a deck like Heroes that relies on a lot of traps and a lot of destruction, you choose what I've mentioned before. They love to run Deprison and Bottomless. They love to run Spark and Hero Blast. Decks like Rabbit like to include Bottomless Trap Hole for Dragons, Torrential. A lot of this stuff is staples, and a lot of it is just player preference. I think that's the biggest thing about these videos, that is player preference. I'm just giving my opinion on cards I've seen and things I've learned about these cards throughout the time using them. And I feel that the best cards right now, in my personal opinion, if I were to name them, are probably Bottomless Trap Hole and Deprison, just for the fact that they answer so many decks, while at the same time they're not that good against Insector. They're not completely dead against Insector. You can use Bottomless against a Hopper and Centipede. You can use Deprison if you're fortunate enough that they don't pop it, but this card has to come out like when you side against them, like it's not good. But this card's great against Dino Rabbit, this card's good against Dino Rabbit, both amazing against Dragons. So I feel that both of these cards are just definitely probably the best one-for-ones in the game as far as traps go. And like I said before, Soul Taker is my choice right now, just for the fact that Dragons and Heroes are pretty rampant. And your opponent will gain 1,000 life points, but if you have control of the board, 1,000 life points does not mean anything. Unless it's like it bumps them up enough for a warning. But if you can play around the warning and play smart, you can win. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys like this video. You know, thumbs it up. We'll go 60 likes for the next one. I'm really happy that you guys have been watching my videos and really thumbsing them up and just getting really good views and stuff. My subs keep going up. I really can't thank you guys enough. And for all the channels that want to do video collabos and stuff, all you got to do is PM me. I'm waiting for a couple others to get back to me so I can get their videos up, and I'll hopefully be on other channels as well. And that's pretty much it, you guys. This was just the video that I thought could help you guys when choosing your form of monster removal and or destruction. So I hope you guys liked the video. Thumbs it up. Let me know what other cards I forgot to mention as far as monster removal. And probably the next video will be on spell and trap removal in all its crazy forms. So that's all I got to say, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.